Hello sports fans and welcome to ESPN Blast to the Past. Today we are going to take a look at sports in the 1920s.
I'm Gary Johnson.
And I'm Philip Duncan.
I'm Steve Jacobs and I just wandered into the studio. I don't know much about sports in the 20s, but when I look at you two, it seems I don't need to.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Me too.
So what is so special about sports in the 1920s?
Well, you see, the 1920s was an important era for sports because of the necessary rules made, the major organizations formed, and the amazing records established.
What kind of rules?
Well, you see, in 1920, the Cleveland Indians shortstop, Ray Chapman, was hit in the head with a speeding fastball. The pitch was thrown by Carl Mays.
Was he okay?
Unfortunately no, he died 12 hours later. So the MLB started to pass the rule that batting helmets had to be worn during batting and running. Not only did this affect the MLB, but it began to affect other sports associations such as rugby and the NFL. Helmets started to become a necessity. In the NFL, pads were also needed for player safety.
Sorry guys, my ride is here.
What about referees, organizations, and records? Weren't we going to teach him about Roaring Twenties?
Wait, what is that noise?
Ho, 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 not to worry everyone, I have all the answers in Santa's big book of everything. Here's a book just for you, Philip, with all of the records and everything about sports in the 1920s. Sorry, Gary, but you aren't on my list this year.
Jeepers, thanks, Santa.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
On that note, let's take a look at this book. The current salary range for an NFL referee will vary between $25,000 and $70,000 today. In the 1920s, the referees made between $2,317 and $6,489.
Wow, that was a lot of money back then.
And even more now. In the 20s there were also some amazing feats in the area of equal sports rights. The National Negro League of Baseball was founded in 1920.
The National Women's Athletics Association was founded in 1928. This was an awesome sports achievement in the 20s.
The NFL, the most popular sports league in America, was founded in 1920.
The National Amateur and Athletic Federation, NAAF, was founded during 1928. The NAAF was meant to encourage kids to participate in sports and get active.
Let's read some outstanding broken records that were set in the 1920s. Babe Ruth hit 714 home runs by 1929, which was broken by Hank Aaron's, who hit 755 home runs by 1976.
Wow, that's more home runs than I can count.
In 1922, Johnny Spiller completed the first 100-meter freestyle swim in under 1 minute, 57.4 seconds. It was broken by Peter Fick, 56.8 seconds in 1934.
That must have taken a lot of practice.
Yeah, and when you think about the surplus of training we have now but didn't have then, you realize what an accomplishment that was. Why don't we take a look at some still standing records established in the 1920s? Ty Cobb holds the highest career batting average, 367 as of 1928.
Isn't the average professional baseball player's batting average only 230?
Yes, I believe it is.
Wow, that means Ty Cobb was a very accurate bagger.
How about another statistic? Babe Ruth scored 177 times in 1921, which is the most times a player has ever crossed the plate in 1 year in MLB history.
So Babe Ruth has made some important contributions to baseball in the 1920s.
That is certainly what it seems like. In fact, let's pull up a picture of Babe Ruth hitting one of his most historic home runs.
There Ruth is hitting his 60th home run in 1927. It was possibly the best playoff hit in all of baseball history.
Thanks to our old age, this book and Santa Claus, we now know all about sports in the 20s and how those events affected sports now.
Yes, we now know that the 1920s was an important time for sports because of the necessary rules made, the major organizations formed, and the amazing records established.
We know that the rules invented in the 20s still protect players' safety today. From helmets to pads.
Referees gained more power and rules in the MLB and in other sports during the 1920s, which is still in effect now.
Let's not forget all the major organizations founded, like the NFL and the National Negro League of Baseball.
Also the National Women's Athletics Association and the National Amateur and Athletic Federation were founded.
There were also some amazing records established that were broken in the 20s. Babe Ruth hit 714 home runs and John Weissmuller swam 100 meters in 57.4 seconds.
There were also some great records that are still standing from the 1920s. Ty Cobb holds the highest career batting average of 367 as of 1928, and Babe Ruth scored 177 in a year.
On behalf of everyone here at ESPN, thanks for watching. I'm Gary Johnson.
I'm Philip Duncan.
And I'm Steve Jacobs. Thanks for watching.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.